This is the other half of the new TBS Crossfire control system for my new radio. This is the transmitter portion. Open the box here. All right. Here it is. Just like my old long-range system, it's a module that mounts on the back of your RC radio. For about 7 or 8 years, I've been using this easy UHF long-range radio on the back of my Futaba radio. 433 megahertz, 2 watts max that you can run in the United States with a ham license. Even you can't run above 2 watts even if you have a ham license. So and that's what I had been using. The telemetry for this, there is some telemetry that can go back and forth between the platform and the radio through this, but the telemetry portion for the platform side for easy UHF is $179 and rather limited. There are small receivers like the Nano I just showed you for this. Well, they're not that small, but they are smaller, but I can't seem to find any in stock anywhere. So this is the new one, again, with the Futaba JR module that comes with it. You just mount these two together, hook these two connectors in, and then this whole module snaps into the back of the radio. I showed you the Radio Master TX16S Max, but this is really the more reason I'm changing radios, is this long-range control system has telemetry like nobody's business, and it's a 2 watt again. It goes 20 or 30 miles. Actually, nobody really knows how far this goes, because I don't think they've ever outrun it. All I'm trying to do is outrun my video length. Here's an adapter for other radios. Here's one with a Futaba. I'm not sure if this will take PPM input. I have to look into that. I really don't want to use it on my Futaba. I've got the easy UHF for my Futaba. I'm kind of moving up. This is just a connector for the radio that's got bare ends on it, so you can make up your own cables, hook it to whatever, totally on your own too. A little XT60 to Justy to run power in here. There may be reasons you want to run the power in there only, usually because you don't, if it goes to a radio, you don't want to really run a bunch of power through a radio system into the module, and you can just run it in the bottom of it. This is a little adapter. There are some RC radios out there that have some communications problem. Not the one I'm using, so that I won't be using. And then there's an antenna for the Crossfire system. Now, I got a accessory antenna for the setup. That's a TBS, what was it called? Ooh. TBS diamond antenna. It gives a little extra range over the antenna that comes in the box. It is a linear polarized, just like the one in the box. If you're holding your antenna transmitter in your hand, this is the proper orientation for the antenna, not this way, unless it's mounted this way in your platform, I guess. Anyway, so there's basically the transmitter side of the TBS Crossfire long range system. I'm trying to move to this because I can get rid of the telemetry radios on each side. This works with the new radio I'm trying to move to. This uses smaller, lighter, more capable RC receivers inside the platforms than I can actually do with the Futaba radio. So it was just time to move from an old radio system to a new system. But it was more because of this Crossfire radio link having communications in both directions, where I could do telemetry and get rid of a whole extra frequency that I was using on the platforms, telemetry radio on the platform. There's just a whole host of reasons to use this over what I had been doing. Well, I was using 10-year-old technology. That's another reason. So that's the TBS Crossfire transmitter that will go back on the back of my new radio as soon as I get it working. Sadly, the one that came in here has a problem. It doesn't work. It works. It just has a problem with the multi-protocol module, or the radio itself talking to this, when it should easily just be plug and play. But I think I've about got that worked out. So today I've showed you the TBS Nano receiver. I've showed you the TBS Crossfire transmitter that I'll be using. Oh yeah, one other thing. I got this with the transmitter. This is a TBS Nano diversity receiver. It has two antennas basically. You can see it's sort of split down the middle. It has basically two transceivers in it. If one fails or one has a better signal, it uses that one. So this is the TBS Crossfire Nano receiver. So you see everything that's going to be being used on this Crossfire system is just so much smaller than the Easy UHF that I had been using, that didn't have telemetry communications back and forth. This bulky thing. And as I showed you earlier today, the straight up non-diversity TBS Nano receiver right there. So there's what they look like next to each other. Both of them do the same thing. RC control and telemetry communications between the platforms. I think I'm going to be very happy with these new transmitters and receivers. I just have to get the radio working with them, because I don't really think this works with my Futaba. It might through PPM, but I just don't need it to. The Futaba is just an old radio. We'll get it working on the Radio Master.